Hello everyone. I'm up the tips and I think I'm going to regret life choices of wearing walking boots, not wellies. But in my defence, it is quite warm and you know, your legs sweat in wellies, don't they? So I just thought I'd do it this way instead. Yeah, so I've just been slow this morning because I've been very tired from yesterday, and it was raining as well. So yeah, I let the dogs out for a wee, chilled out for a couple of hours. Then Sarah came up with Giz, Bud and Belle. So the dogs all had a run together with her. Then did some training in the house. And then I went, dropped off a prescription and then went to the park with Pod, sorry. Words aren't working today. Went to the park with Pod, Nala and Katniss. Just to do some distraction training, working in other environments sort of training. So it's not working on anything new. It was just doing what they already know in a different environment. And there were squirrels everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And they're so tame with humans and dogs that they didn't mind the dogs were around at all. But obviously my dogs thought their luck was in and they could go squirrel hunting. And even Nala did. And Nala never does. Good boy, Lulu. So, yeah, that was interesting. So the only distraction my dogs really saw were squirrels. They didn't find people, dogs, children, prams, skateboard, the local drunks worrying at all. They only thought the squirrels were distracting. Katniss quite liked the pigeons. So yeah, Katniss thought pigeons were cool. But yeah, it was just, they did eventually work through it. I'm not gonna lie, I probably will have an aching shoulder, aching muscles in my left arm later. But yeah, it was productive in the end. Yesterday was alright. Dogs showed well. Katniss is fat. And Phoenix got a bit of staining from some dally rash. The dally rash cleared very, very quickly. But the stain never goes so quickly, does it? Pumpkin loved it, because Pumpkin always does. She was entered in the 2 biggest classes of the day. And she got a 5th in one. So that was good. And then Pixie and Charlotte did really well. They won a class, came 3rd in another. And then Suzanne and Roy, who is a Pod Jude son, he got a 3rd and a 5th. And that was Suzanne's first ever time showing him. And it was only Roy's 2nd show because Finn showed him in his first show because Suzanne had a knee injury. And then got to meet Polly and Queenie. And Queenie is a Pod daughter. And her mum is a Lily daughter out of Lily's first litter. So she's half Wenner in all but her kennel club name, really. So yeah, it was nice finally meeting them because obviously we've been in contact over Facebook and everything. And it was their first champ show and they didn't place, but like they certainly didn't let themselves down. And that is the thing with showing, is sometimes your dogs are the judge's preference and taste and sometimes they're not. But yeah, Queenie's lovely. She's happy. She's bouncier than a lot of Pod babies. She could fit in with like Finnick, Nancy, Kevin, Pixie type of litter for how happy and exuberantly happy she is. But that's fine. We'll blame it on her mum's side. Don't blame it on Poddy. Because most pod babies are like so laid back and chilled. And then we got to meet a couple of people who follow the channel. They recognised me and Katniss straight away, and then they got to meet Pumpkin as well, so it was nice meeting them. And then it was quite funny, like speaking to people I know, like more than like one set of them that I obviously have known for a long time through the showing. Came across the channel. I was like, oh, cool. Because I don't know, it's, you know, when you know there's people you know that are watching. For me, it's like a bit odd. You find it, Finnick? Look at your nose now. I don't know. It's weird because, like, if you think I'm up here on my own right now, I'm filming on my own. I, you know, put the video up on my own channel, and it's like then you forget about it. So then you sort of forget that other people watch. I don't know. It sounds really stupid, but you do forget that other people watch. And I met somebody else who first met her when her girl was pregnant, and it was her first ever litter, and she said she wouldn't mind having a show, you know, having to try it showing, so she was there watching a show just to see what the show Dalmatians looked like. So anyway, I was chatting to her a bit, and yeah, met her again yesterday with the pup she chose from her litter, and she was like, she said she'd met up with somebody who I also know, and said that I'd given her some really good advice and that she was really grateful. And actually the person she'd met at Ringcraft, who I also know, had said the same thing about me. So it's quite nice, isn't it? Because you're always, like, you know, when you give advice, you're never quite sure how welcome it is. If people will see it as you interfering, when, like, I try and help. So yeah, and obviously I express a lot of views on this channel, on this platform. Not all of them are well received, but the way I see it is if I say something that makes your arse twitch, that says more about you and what you're doing than it does about me. You know, for example, I was having a conversation with somebody about elbow scores in Dalmatians. Now, most people would tell you Dalmatians, I say most, not most, a lot of people will say Dalmatians don't need hip scoring. They never even mention elbows. But then there are Dalmatians with high hip scores and elbow scores. So, you know, and there are Dalmatians with hip dysplasia, with elbow dysplasia. So try and tell those owners that their dog doesn't need hip and elbow scoring. Do you know what I mean? And anyway, they were sort of criticising this one person who had their dog had elbow scores 1, and it was being used for breeding. Now this very same person hasn't had their combination of female and male hip and elbow scored. So for me it's like, how can you criticise them when you haven't even bothered having your own dogs done? Does that make sense? And then the other thing is like, with the hip scoring, the Dalmatian's average score is the same as the German short-haired pointer, but it's a required test for German short-haired pointers. You know, I'm not saying everybody does it, because they still don't with the GSPs, but it is a required test. So yeah, I just feel like there's a lot of people being very hypocritical. You know, they criticise the dog for having a high hip score, but they don't get their own dog scored. It just doesn't make sense to me. And don't get me wrong, like, you can often sort of see some signs of it, but I don't think everybody can, because there are plenty of lame dogs in the ring. So why can't people see that? But that is a complete topic on his own. I haven't seen the girls in a while. Pumpkin, Raven, Aria. Come on, Finnick. Well done, Baba. You can see it's very faint, the discoloration on his back. But he did show really well. Now find her. Nanny, Finnick, find her. Well, here they come. Where have you been? Cordelia! Look at Rave. Whoa, Finnick, Rave. Go out, Puff, you are. Here comes Aria. Pumps. That was clever, wasn't it, Finnick? So clever of you. Pumpkin. Aria. Oh my God. Lay down in the bed. Find it, Finnick. Aria. I still want to give you a treat, because you still did come back. Aria. Absolute donuts. How far away were you? It's so out of path. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to leave this here and see you all soon. Bye.